Hi everybody, it's Richard here again and welcome to another video. Now, recently I have been going ABBA mad, but I've done quite a few videos on ABBA, including a discussion of Voyage with John Heaton a couple of weeks ago, which has done very well. I've never actually ranked the ABBA albums. I've ranked the singles before, but never the albums. I've always put off doing it because my ranking would normally be the same as anybody else's. So what I decided to do was actually listen to every album, and there's only 9 of them, at least twice, and Voyage got listened to an awful lot more because it's brand new. And I thought I'd do my ranking on my enjoyment of these albums. Now, this ranking does not bring in critical acclaim. What's supposed to be the best is what I enjoyed the most whenever I was playing them. And so before I start, I'm just going to show some of the ABBA greatest hits and compilations, etc., and then we'll get into the actual ranking of their studio albums. And the first one is ABBA's greatest hits from 1976. And if I was only allowed to keep one album of ABBA, I think this would be the one. This is the one I grew up with, and this is the one I absolutely love. The next one is, because I got that, I had to get this, from 1979, and this is ABBA's Greatest Hits Volume 2. Now, this contains a lot more hits than the first one. There is an oddity here with Rock Me being included, which was released before the Greatest Hits, the original one, and it's a little bit out of place, but it's still a very good song and it's a very good album. The next one is, this one here is Gracias por la Música, which is an album all in Spanish. It was obviously re-recorded, a lot of the songs, in 1980, but with the Spanish language. So you have Mamma Mia, Hasta Mañana, Dancing Queen, Move On, etc., all in Spanish, and it is actually very, very good. But I think this was only released in Spain. I don't think it was released in the UK, but I think it was heavily imported. Then you have the big double one, the singles, the first 10 years. Which implies there's going to be a second 10 years, which there wasn't. And this is actually the most comprehensive of all the ABBA greatest hits albums, including Gold. I think this one has all the singles, bar Angel Eyes, unfortunately, and Head Over Heels. I think that the rest of them are all included. So ABBA's the first 10 years, the singles double album. And then in 1983 we have an album called Thank You for the Music, which is more of the slower type songs, but you have some great stuff like The Day Before You Came, and you have Should I Laugh or Cry, the B-side of One of Us, which is absolutely brilliant. My Love My Life, which is magnificent, at open side 2. The single that was taken from this was Thank You for the Music, which was really their last single in 1983, but it's nice to have. It's not essential, but it's nice to have. Then we have, I think this is 86, ABBA Live, and this brings in a lot of the tracks that they performed on the 1979 tour, along with a few extras that were performed on the Dick Cavett show in 1981. For example, Two for the Price of One, Super Trouper. So yeah, it's nice to have. The Dick Cavett ones, again, don't really fit, but it's still a good album. And then this is a recent acquisition. I don't know why I bought it, I just love the cover, and it's a double album, and it's just called The Collection, and it's on the Castle Communications label, and you get some really great songs. Side 1, 2 and 3 are mostly hits, and side 4 are many strong LP tracks that I love, like Arrival, Honey Honey, The Visitors, Rock Me, Eagle, Dance While the Music Still Goes On. It's a very, very good album. And the last one of the vinyl is the big 3 LP set of Live at Wembley Arena, which is magnificent, and it's more or less the whole show. And you have many songs, 5 and 4 is 9, and 4 is 13, and 4 is 17, and another 9 is 26 songs. So yeah, and this covers basically everything. Most of the hits are on this. Then the 2 big ones I don't actually have on vinyl, and I don't really need it. It's ABBA Gold, and which is spending its 1,222nd week in the UK charts, and more ABBA Gold, which I think is really just as good. Now I want to direct you to a video that Graham Watson did, Cracking Vinyl, a couple of years ago, where he compiled an album called Beyond Gold, which was to compile an ABBA album without any of those tracks from Gold. I may do that as well. I've actually made a list. It's quite different to Graham's, but it's one of the best videos I've ever watched. I loved it, every bit of it, so I'm going to put a link to that. Okay, ranking of the albums, 9 albums, and they are in my listening pleasure ranking, put it that way. It's a listening pleasure ranking. I listened to them all on the way to work and back, really over the past 2 weeks, and so which ones come in which order. And the 9th one, quite surprisingly, and I must say I love every one of these albums, there's not a bad album amongst them, but I have to put them in some order, and the 9th one I'm going with is ABBA the album. Now how can this come number 9 when it's got 4 of my all-time favourite ABBA songs on it, like Eagle, Take a Chance on Me, The Name of the Game, and Thank You for the Music. It's also got Move On, which is really good, apart from the spoken intro at the start, which spoils it for me. I think the problem is there's a couple of songs I'm not that keen on. I'm not keen on One Man, One Woman. It's a decent enough ballad, but it is missing that magic ABBA dust sprinkled over it. There's something about it I think is a little bit bland. I'm a Marionette, I just don't think fits. It's better in like a stage show soundtrack type thing rather than on a proper album, even though it is part of The Girl with the Golden Hair. I Wonder Departure is okay, and Hole in Your Soul is not the best of rockers. So taking away the first 4 songs that I mentioned plus Move On, the rest is alright, but overall it's still a very good album. So that's my number 9 from 1978. 1977 in most other countries was delayed for a couple of months in the UK. Okay, number 8, I'm going with Ring Ring. Now this is 1973 and it is a bit of a hodgepodge. There is some Bjorn and Benny material on this thrown in to make up an album, but this is really good. Now this is the original LP version. It didn't come out in the UK until the 1980s. But it was released in 1973 in the Scandinavian countries. You have Ring Ring, the Swedish version that opens it, which is fine. You have Ring Ring, the English version, and Side 2, which is one of their best singles. It's absolutely amazing. Another Town, Another Train is one of the most melodic songs you'll ever hear, and I love the vocals of the girls on the chorus. Even Bjorn does a pretty damn good job of singing the verses. Nina Pretty Ballerina is a fantastic ABBA song, and People Need Love, and what's the other one, He Is Your Brother. Okay, they're maybe a little bit hippie-ish and a little bit twee, but I think they're really, really good. And all those ones I mentioned, bar the Swedish version of Ring Ring, all featured on that greatest hits. So what else is there here? So whenever I first bought this on CD, it features a song called She's My Kind of Girl, which is not on this final album. I'm glad, because I don't like it. But you have Love Isn't Easy But It Sure Ain't Hard Enough, which is a really great fun song, and there's a really, really good video for it on YouTube. It's a bit grainy, it's a bit old, but it's really good fun. Me and Bobby's Brother is one of the cheesiest songs you'll ever hear. It's that cheesy, it goes beyond the limit of not liking to actually liking it. It's okay. I Am Just a Girl, I think, it's just lovely. It really is. I Saw It in the Mirror's not bad as well, which is Bjorn singing, and there's a great wee glam rock stomper at the end, rock and roll band, which is very good. So Ring Ring, pleasure wise, gets my number 8. Number 7, and we have Waterloo from 1984, and the big songs off this are obviously the title track, a #1 hit. You have Honey Honey, which should have been a single, it really should have been, but they re-released Ring Ring, slowed it down a slight hair and added a little bit of sax. That version is also on this. I don't count it as part of this album though. I always think this album finishes with Susie Hangaround, which is like a Birdsey type number. Not very nice lyrics, but it's about children, and you you're not allowed to join my gang, so forth. But it's a really good Birdsley song, and I really do like it. And it's the only song that Benny actually takes lead vocals. I think he does okay. My Mama Said is a pretty good song. You get probably my favourite on the whole album is Dance While the Music Still Goes On. Absolutely love it. And then you get Hasta Mañana or Hasta Mañana, which is gorgeous. The two songs that you always get a bit of flack are King Kong song and Watch Out. King Kong song is great fun. It's a glam rocker, that's all it is, and it's great fun. And Watch Out is pretty heavy, and it is good. And then you get Sitting in the Palm Tree, which is a slight reggae type number, which is okay. I do like it, really good. And Gonna Sing You My Love Song is another beautiful ballad. I think it's Frida that sings that one. So yeah, again, a very good album. All these albums are really, really good. This one gets my number 7. Okay, number 6, and we have, this is a bit of a shock for me whenever I was making this, because I normally have this as my third favourite, but it's Voulez-Vous. Now, the reason why this is down at number 6, again, it's a wonderful album. It's the last two tracks on the album, Lovers Live a Little Longer and Kisses of Fire, which I think are a little bit substandard. It does feature 5 A-sides, but unfortunately 2 of them are never high on my list, Voulez-Vous and Does Your Mother Know? But this has got some great highlights as well. For example, As Good As New is a fantastic opener. I love I Have a Dream, always have. It's in my top 5 ABBA singles. I think Angel Eyes is up there as well, absolutely brilliant song. And then you get the disco of If It Wasn't For the Nights, which should have been a single. It should have been a single over, say, Does Your Mother Know? And Chiquitita, which I do really like, but I think it goes on a little bit too long. But Voulez-Vous from 1979 is my number 6. Number 5, and I'm going to give it to the ABBA album from 1975. Yeah, this has 4 singles off it, 2 of them massive hits, Mamma Mia and SOS. Mamma Mia was never my favourite, although I've really enjoyed listening to it recently, and it's gone up in my estimations, really good. And SOS is almost a perfect song. I do. I think it's fantastic as well. It wasn't very high in my ABBA singles. That's the thing about the ABBA singles. I love them all, so you have to put them somewhere. But I absolutely love it, and play it loud. It really does need to be played loud. And SOS is their best glam rock song. It also has songs like Rock Me, which was a hit in Australia. I think that's why it got onto the Greatest Hits Volume 2, which is, I do like it. It was never my favourite, but I like it more than I ever did. Bang a Boomerang, absolutely love, and I love watching the video for that. You get Hey Hey Helen, another glam rock song. Tropical Loveland is probably the weakest one off this, and it's like a cod reggae type song. And then you have I've Been Waiting For You, which is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful ballad, which I think Agneta sings. And then you have Intermezzo Number 1, which is an instrumental, and I think it's really, really good. So this gets my number 5, ABBA. Number 4, and here we go, Voyage. We've talked about this extensively. This here I think is magnificent, it really is. This just keeps getting better and better and better when I hear it. Side 1 is perfect. I have to say that side 1 is perfect. I gave these songs marks out of 10 in that video with John. You can nearly put an extra point on each song. I Still Have Faith in You, absolutely adore it. When You Dance With Me has grown on me so much. Little Things, I know it's cheesy, but it is beautiful, it really is. Don't Shut Me Down has turned into a classic ABBA single, and if gold was being recompiled, it would be on it. And Just a Notion is probably one of the most upbeat songs you'll ever hear. Side 2 is not quite as good, but you have fantastic songs like Bumblebee, no doubt about it, and my favourite track on this is Ode to Freedom. Now, I Can Be That Woman was the one I didn't like at the start. I absolutely love it now, I really do, especially the second half of it. It is like a country song, and I do think maybe the lyrics are a little bit too direct, but I'm getting used to them. And I think my least favourite on the album now is Keep an Eye on Dan, but I still think it's really, really good. So ABBA Voyage from 2021 gets my number 4. A bit of a surprise for number 3, and it's Super Trouper. I didn't think this would be quite as high, but I really enjoyed it when I played it. Super Trouper is my second favourite ABBA single behind Fernando, which wasn't on any album. Winner Takes It All, I was never overly keen on that whenever I was doing my singles ranking, but it has jumped up as well. I think my singles ranking would completely change by now. I love it. On and On and On, which is a decent enough like pop song dance tune. It's not my favourite off the album, but I enjoy it quite a bit. And Dante I really do like as well. It's like a waltzy type song. Me and I is fantastic, really is, with Frida and vocals. Side 2, Happy New Year and Our Last Summer are really good ballads. Then you have The Fun of the Piper, which is really good, and then 2 of their best ever songs, Lay All Your Love on Me and The Way Old Friends Do, and it is an absolutely fantastic album. And I think this is actually their best selling studio album to date, Super Trouper. I'm not sure, but I think it is. So that gets my number 3. Now my number 2 and my number 1, oh, I struggled, and I came up with an answer. I really wanted to give them first equal. I've always claimed this to be my number 1. In fact, now it's my number 2, and it's The Visitors. And this is a perfect album. There is only one flaw on this, which I hear in the song The Visitors. I think it's about 4 minutes into it. There's a little bit of a hitch with the recording, which you hear in the CD as well as the vinyl. This was digitally recorded, and you hear something. I'll put in the actual time whenever I upload this, because there's something there that's not quite right, and you know it's digitally recorded. But aside from that, if you can get over that, because even the edited version has that as well. Side 1, perfect. Visitors, head over heels, should have been massive, but people were falling out of love with ABBA at that time. It's so catchy and such a brilliant video, and Frida is fantastic in it. It's a Agneta sang song though. When All Is Said and Done, which was quite a decent sized hit in America, not released over here, and Soldiers is fantastic. Side 2 is I Let the Music Speak, which was showing the way that Bjorn and Benny were actually going with their musicals, but it's really good, and this is far better than I Wonder Departure, for me anyway. One of Us is a great single. 2 for the Price of One, I think, is great fun with Bjorn. A lot of people think this is the weak link of the album. I think it's really good. And then you have the gorgeous Slipping Through My Fingers, which is heartbreaking, and then the even more gorgeous Like an Angel Passing Through My Room. It's a perfect album, but I do think they should have put Should I Laugh or Cry on it and made it a 10-track album, because it is a fantastic B-side, but not to be. The Visitors is my number 2. If you buy the CD, you get all the B-sides on the A-sides of the 1982 material, which makes the CD really, really good. But album-wise, number 2. And so my number 1 ABBA album, and it's no surprise, it's Arrival, and I love the cover. This is perfect pop. This is the best album of 1976, and that includes things like David Bowie's Station to Station, Queen's Day at the Races, and whatever. This is the best album. Number 1 album, of course. Opens up with When I Kiss the Teacher. Always thought maybe Arrival should have opened it up, but I'm two minds whether that should be the case or not. But When I Kiss the Teacher, yes, there are a bit dodgy lyrics for these days, but it's all a bit of fun. And then you have Dancing Queen, of course, which is brilliant. And then possibly their best ballad, My Love, My Life, with Agneta on vocals. Video for it as well. Heartbreaking the way she sings it. Dum Dum Diddle, silly title but really catchy little number. And then the magnificent Knowing Me, Knowing You, and that's just side 1, all perfect. Side 2 is perfect for me as well. Money, Money, Money. Single I was never overly keen on. Well, I always liked it, but it was never one of my favourites, but it's gone up as well. I've been playing that twice in a row sort of thing. I think it's great. And that's me with the B-side of Dancing Queen, which could have been a single in its own right. It's really, really good. Agneta on vocals. In fact, she had a great hits LP in the late 90s, and she named it That's Me, with a few ABBA songs on it, including that song itself. Why Did It Have to Be Me? Fantastic. Bjorn on vocal, and the live version of it with Frida singing and ABBA the movie is magnificent, and she is fantastic. She really is. What a performer. And then we have Tiger, which may be the weakest track on the album, but I still love it, and it's enhanced when you watch the video. Really good song. And then you have my favourite ABBA song of all time, and there's actually no vocals. It is just ahs and almost like humming. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's Arrival. Beautiful, beautiful music, and I love it. And Mike Oldfield does a good version as well, but not as good as this. So Arrival is my #1 ABBA album from 1976. Okay, there you have it. That's another ABBA video done, and as I say, I may do this Beyond Gold that Graham did a while back, and then I'll probably leave ABBA for a while because I've nothing else to talk about. Okay, that's me for now. I hope you enjoyed it. This went on a wee bit, and I hope to have another video quite soon. All the best now. Bye bye.